3 months. Coach, your thoughts on the game?
We won. It was, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if y'all can see the scoreboard from where we are, but when you look at it from where I'm standing, you see 42 and 42. So I thought the game was tied. And so I was trying to figure out why are they fouling? And then I looked at the score and I was like, oh my God, we're winning by 4. And I had to really dig deep when it came to composure, trying to figure out how we're going to win this thing. And glad they knew what they were doing. So, I'm extremely proud of this group. I think we've been through a lot this year. A lot of people don't know what's happened behind the scenes, or if you don't follow us, we lost a all-state point guard to an ACL in April, and then we lost our other all-state point guard in the regional final. And then, everyone thought, well, they're returning so much, but just because you return doesn't mean you have the experience. But this group had to create their own identity because we aren't the team of last year, we're the team of this year. And we went through some really hard moments from November to December. I put together an extremely difficult schedule. We were on the road 13 out of 14 games. And they trusted in who they are, because at the end of the day, it wasn't about what I do as a coach, it's what they're going to do as a team. And, they're phenomenal. Just a phenomenal group of young women that I'm very fortunate and privileged to coach.
Questions?
Ms. Rainey, from the jump ball to the time that you got a 7-0 run by yourself to the end of the game where turnovers were really happening and you had to make sure that you were staying honest and being the leader on your team, it just looked like you had an understanding about what you wanted to do today. Can you talk to me about what that meant for you, what this moment meant for you to be able to play in this game, and how you just brought that, I would say, calmness to the game, even though you were firing off at all cylinders?
Coming into the game, I knew I had to step up for Samia. Losing her is a big loss, so it was important for me to be there for her throughout the few games after we lost her. But yeah, and keeping calm, trying to keep everybody composed was a big thing for me today. I knew we had to do that because I knew it's going to be a lot of pressure and everybody's going to be nervous. I mean, it happens. So that was big for me. And yeah, overall, we just had to make sure our defense was there. We had to find that, and just, I don't know, bringing everybody together was one of my biggest focuses today, and then let everything else come to me.
I want to ask, everybody can ask you this question, but I'm going to start with you, Coach. You started off on a 16-2 run. What went through your minds after that? Manchester went on a 24-1. I think you guys went through 7 turnovers at that point. It looks like that you were run away with the game. I want to start with you, and I want to ask the players as well what their minds was going through.
Well, I don't think you can run away with the game when the coach of the opponent or the opposing team is as good as Coach Wright. He's the real deal. And I knew that his timeouts are pretty phenomenal. He knows when to call them to kind of interject on a team's momentum, and I think he did that. I think when you start off that hot, I think it's a dangerous. It's scary, because with them, they know the focus just stay on the defensive side of the ball. And so when you have that quick of a start, then it's like, oh my God, it's offense. So and then what you saw was our defense became really chaotic. We couldn't get stops, and they had us on our heels, and the discipline that led to that early run completely left the floor, and then turnovers started happening, and then you could see the frustration, and then as great as that was, it's also nerve-wracking, because we are inexperienced and experienced at the same time, but it also put a lot of pressure on Key when the turnovers started to compile, that she had to take over. Then you notice the discipline turned into her having 3 fouls going into halftime, because she felt like she had to corral everybody at that point in time. So I just, as great as that was, I knew it wasn't going to last, because I could see the shift in mindset going from defense to offense.
Janey, last year you hit some big threes in the state championship game. What's going through your mind when you see that scrum and you just heading off to that corner and you got that wide open three and you hit that? Really, I think that was the biggest shot of the game that put you up by 11 points. What's going through your mind when you're sitting in that corner? You saying yourself, you're gonna hit that three, you're gonna drive to the basket. What's going through your mind at that point?
Oh, always shoot it. Always shoot it. Just to set my feet and think it's green, it's going in. So.
Coach, 4 fouls, Key's on the bench third quarter. She has most of your points. The offense isn't there, but it seemed like Tierney and some of the others, Kai, start driving and getting to the basket. What did you say to them to try and get offense with Key out temporarily?
Defend. Like, literally, it was just sustaining. Like thank God there was that run at the beginning, because then now at halftime the thing was we're up by 6, defend. Like at this point in time we have the lead, defend the lead, defend the lead. And so when Key went out, when one of the things that we really focused on this year is that our offense is our defense, and so there wasn't panic when Key went out. We weren't focused on the offensive side of the ball. And even like when Samia went out in the regional final, if anybody was there, she went out in 5 minutes left to go in the first half, and that's exactly what we talked about. It's just keep defending. You just got to get stops. You just got to get stops. And I told them, we just got to sustain the next 3 at that point in time. We just need 3 minutes of defense, 3 minutes of defense to get her back on the floor in the fourth quarter. And defense isn't everybody's, forte, but for us, I just believe that if you can defend, you always have a chance, and as cliche as it sounds, defense wins championships.
Coach Wright has always said that when it comes to playing OP, that it comes down, it's like playing chess out there. And it gives him that rush when he gets to coach like that. Do you feel the same way, especially when you play a team like Manchester?
Well, I'm going to say it's more like checkers, because I don't know how to play chess. Or Connect 4, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, it is hard. He's just so good. And I was sitting there watching in the pregame, and I'm watching all his kids shoot. And it's just, if you watch his teams, they're super fundamental. They're extremely calm, and they all know their roles. But even if they aren't in the top role, it doesn't mean that they can't move up in stature to become that top person. And I think that's the coaching. So when she says shoot, Janey has the green light to shoot. And they all do. And when they don't hit, when they don't take a good one, what are you doing? So it's giving them the freedom to grow within the game. And if I limited her ability to shoot, then she doesn't hit that big 3, or she doesn't hit the 3s last year. Or if I don't give Jalen or anybody the ability to go score, then. But so that's what I feel with him is I don't know what they do down here, but I would almost guarantee he wants his players to grow and grow as players. So in big moments, they're not stuck in a box. They can adapt to the moment and be big.
Kiara, can you just talk about your motivation coming in today? I mean, you win, you're a 2-time state champion back-to-back at the end of your career with that, and you had 24 points, great game. So just what was your motivation coming in?
Motivation, just this whole team. I mean, it's my last year with them, and they're family to me. So everybody's like sisters. Coach Kelly's like a mom to me. So it's just really important to finish it off strong in the way that we all wanted to. And again, Samia, it's my girl. So it was great to be there for her, and Peyton as well being out. It was big for them.
And just what were you feeling out there? I mean, you had the hot start, but when you kept going to that kind of free throw line, pull-up jumper, and it went in, seemingly every time. So just how are you feeling out there?
Felt good. I mean, just kind of in like flow state. So.
Was that's kind of like your signature shot, that jumper there?
Yeah.
The mid-range game is not dead.
Yeah. Absolutely. Coach, I'm going to ask you a question. Looking back at your career, Forest Park, South County, here, looking at everything that you've done, would you say this year, this championship had to be the most challenging, but also the most satisfying because of the injuries. And we talked at the beginning of the year, the schedule that you was preparing. Would you say that would be accurate?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. When I was at Forest Park, we went to 3 in a row. We won 1, lost 1, won 1, and then at South County, I think South County was pivotal to me because the coaching in the northern region is a different level of coaching. There's just so many good coaches in that region and bigger region. And so my 3 years at South County, I didn't have basketball players, but I had bought in kids who did everything in their power to be successful, and they were phenomenal. They were D1 athletes, they just weren't basketball athletes. And I think that helped me when I ended up coming back to Prince William County. And then, I knew how to lose 2 in a row. We lost 2021 and we got back here in 2022, so I knew how to lose 2 in a row. I didn't know how to win 2 in a row. And so last year I knew what it was like to win. And so I knew, we would graduate some, but I knew that we would get a lot back, and then Peyton goes down, and then, we have young kids, we have inexperienced kids, and then Samia goes down. So that kind of does sit in the back of your mind. Well, can you lead them to back-to-back? What did you do wrong when you lost 2 in a row? And so that really just kind of stayed with me. And so as funny as it was, when the game was tied, it was stay composed. Because if you're composed, they're composed. And free throws are a hard place to be, and I didn't waver. We could defend, and at the end of the day, it came to that. But I think this was extremely challenging. Just trying to figure it all out, but it's well worth it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, obviously players have